This is Marla on. Can anyone hear me?
Sorry, I have a webinar that starts at 9.
Unmuted.
Good evening, everyone. Kim and Pat, it looks like you're on with audio. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, great.
Are we the only ones here?
Those of you that are on right now and that have audio, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right, great. Thank you. Thank you for confirming my technical pieces. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
everyone, I'm going to go ahead and get started. As people arrive, we'll just kind of fold them into the conversation. Again, I wanted to welcome you tonight, and thank you so much for joining us for people some challenges for getting on. I'm going to go ahead and just start for the sake of time because I'd like to get you all done by 10 o'clock at the latest Eastern Standard Time. And this is being recorded, so for those people who have trouble hearing, they can go ahead and hop on at a later time to be able to watch the recording. So I just wanted to orient everyone to the system. There is a place where you can put in a question. I've also just unmuted everyone, and unless it gets particularly noisy with the feedback with various people's audio, I'm just going to go ahead and keep everyone unmuted. So really feel free at any time to just sort of, say, hey, Marla, can you hold on a second? I'd like to ask a question about Academy, who, what, where, and when, talking about arrival and departures, lodging and meals, emergency procedures, participant care, our opening and Friday night activities, and the basic program flow and duties and responsibilities. Just some basics about Leadership Academy. I know all of you are very familiar with it, but it is still the same program. We still invite collegiate members and alumni members. We typically have 3/4 of our participants are comprised of our collegiate members, and 1/4 of our participants are comprised of alumni members. The last I heard, we had 76 alumni members registered and 144 collegiate members. We also have approximately 45 to 50 event staff, which is comprised of our facilitators in training, and our program staff members. It is a 4-day event, and it's being held at Heartland Conference and Retreat Center in Marengo, Ohio. And this year will be taking place from September 17th through September 20th. That is the date that Leadership Academy begins. For all of us on the event staff team, our work really begins, and our time together begins on September 16th on the Wednesday evening. So arrivals and departures. We have all event staff arriving on Wednesday, September 16th. There will be our local event staff who live in the Columbus area will still be joining us for our dinner time and some of our evening time that we gather together, but they will be staying at their homes on Wednesday evening. So if you are a local volunteer who lives in the Columbus area, we will be having you stay at your home on Wednesday because our inn will be very, very full that evening. However, those of you that will be traveling from out of town, you will either be staying at headquarters on that Wednesday evening or at a hotel near the airport. So we do that based on simply space available. And then also some people will be coming in a little bit later on Wednesday and may not be able to join us for dinner. So we will be reaching out to you to let you know where your lodging is going to be for that Wednesday. But we will be all spending dinner together on Wednesday evening. We have a very fun dinner event planned. It's a participatory dining experience that's done at a local restaurant called The Kitchen, and we will have an opportunity to socialize, get to visit with one another, and actually do some cooking together, which is really fun. And then, of course, after we cook it, we get to eat it. So it'll just be a great time to come together. Our participants arrive starting on Thursday in the mid-afternoon all the way up until the dinner hour when they're arriving on Thursday. They are there at Leadership Academy all the way until Sunday morning. It's a requirement of the program that they are able to attend for the entire time of the program. Our departure shuttles begin anytime starting at 5 a.m. from Heartland Conference and Retreat all the way up until 9 o'clock a.m. Our lodging and meals. Lodging takes place in the dormitory areas for our participants. Our program staff, which all of you are members of, will be staying in Hickory Lodge, and there's plenty of space for everybody to sleep, that you can have a lower bunk. The dormitories and Hickory are set up in bunk bed style, but do know you will not be expected to climb to an upper bunk. There's plenty of space to spread out and make yourself at home there. We will be having an area of Hickory that is separate from program staff. It's its own little wing that will be set up as the sick ward in case anybody should need a place where they can convalesce while they're at Leadership Academy. Hopefully not too long, and our nurse, Robin Abens, will move them quickly from the sick bay back to their groups. But we will have a special space set up over at Hickory. If you have special dietary restrictions, hopefully you put that into your registration when you registered as an event staff member. If you have any concerns about that, let us know. Heartland is wonderful for accommodating all sorts of dietary restrictions, and we've really not had any problems at all with making sure that anybody is able to find something that they can enjoy eating there. Emergency procedures. Everyone, all of the program staff and all of the event staff, program staff, facilitators, and FIT will receive binders when you arrive at headquarters that will contain some of the documents that you've actually already received via email. And within that binder, there will be an outline of emergency procedures on how to handle anything to do with fire, weather, tornado warnings, etc., and medical emergencies. And all I ask is that on the Wednesday evening and Thursday morning prior to participants arriving at Heartland, that you take a few minutes to review those procedures. We also keep those located in binders for our facilitators as well, and in a small group space.
Hey, Marla, I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
It's Jan. The main screen is all we're seeing on the webinar. It hasn't advanced any slides.
Oh,
and it
okay.
also says, Marla, that there are technical difficulties, and if they don't resolve, the session will be ended.
Now it's on agenda for you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. I've not had this problem before. It should show exactly what's on my screen. Let's try this. Can you see it switching now?
No.
Not yet. Sorry to interrupt you, Marla.
Oh, no, please do. Fortunately, there's nothing important yet that I've showed you on my slide because I've talked it all through, but we are going to be getting to, well, you know what, folks? The good news is I did send you my document for the event guide, so we can still walk through it.
Okay, so Marla, I got the message is flashed up again that unless the organizer rejoins, the meeting will end in 5 minutes.
All right, I'm going to sign off. If everybody can stay on, and I will re-sign back in, and let's try it again.
Okay. So we'll all stay on. We're going to stay on the call.
Okay. Ooh, let's see. If I end the meeting, I'm hoping I can start it again.
No, don't do that.
I know. If I
Just
end
keep
it,
talking because we've got the materials already.
Well, we're fine. We can take notes.
okay.
And we've got all the material. What you're going to talk about is what you sent today. So roles and responsibilities and event guide.
Yep.
Yeah.
That is it. So, Yep. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and just continue, and even if the system shuts down, hopefully they'll keep our audio all on. For those of you that are signed on, though, via your computer, I would make note of the telephone number to call in on, because that might be where you need. Yep, same one you called before. But some
And same
people
meeting ID.
some people are on via their computer, though. That's what I'm just meaning.
Right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to continue. Participant care and fun. When participants arrive, if for any reason they didn't pack something, or they're missing something, or perhaps their luggage did not arrive on time, we do have care centers at both of the dormitories. They are located in a little room off of the main lobby in the dorm room. And in that is little care center boxes that has anything from tampons to disposable toothbrushes to disposable combs, disposable toothbrushes, snacks, all sorts of things that you could think of that you might need from, that perhaps you had forgotten. That is also the same place where we will store our snacks for our participants that they can use for the weekend, and then also extra blankets and extra pillows will be located in those care centers. We also have little bags to give participants if their luggage did not arrive on time, so that they have at least something that they can utilize until that time. Complaints. We hope we don't get many, but I will let you know that if you do have any participants that have any concerns or complaints, please, we just encourage you to, listen to their concerns, validate them, let them know that you will do your best to assist them, and let them know that you will get them to the right individual to help them out with their concerns. So, whether that is myself or Karen Holmes, who will be there running logistics along with me, or Laurel Palmer, who also is in charge of working with logistics, you can definitely reach out to one of us to help address any of those concerns. Merchandise, we will be having a merchandise table, and again, selling different items there. We have several individuals who will be working the merchandise table. We will be running it regarding the card swipe system. Everybody still with me?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right.
I switched over. I switched over, so.
Okay. All right. Excellent. Our opening activities, when participants arrive, between the hours of 1 o'clock p.m. and 4:45 p.m., there are opening activities available for them. They will receive a little sheet when they check in that will outline the various things that are available to them. They've got zip lining, they've got rock climbing, cornhole, all sorts of different activities. And then the same thing for our Friday evening. We have optional activities on Friday evening that are outlined in their participant booklet that give them the options that they can do. For those of you that have helped with those activities in the past, and by any chance if you worked the zip line or the rock climbing wall last year, just to let you know, to be well assured, we have tightened up those the numbers of people that we're going to be moving through there, and hopefully taken suggestions that many of you made to help make sure that that runs more smoothly this year. We'd like to get as many people through as we possibly can, but also doing it in a safe manner. So the one thing I just wanted you to know about Friday night activities, all of you will be assigned to a different station in which to work on those Friday night activities. But if you do see people that are perhaps wandering off and not exactly participating, do encourage them. You know, really, people are going to get out of this what they are willing to put into it, and we don't want them just back in the dorm rooms visiting. So we do, on occasion, go into the dorm rooms and encourage them to be out and about and participating in the Friday night activities. All right, program flow. I'm going to just switch over, and I'm going to assume you can not see my screen at this point for some of you, but I wanted to ask if you could please open up your Leadership Academy. I'm going to be walking through at this time. I'm going to give you a few minutes to open up your document in case you are not able to see that on my screen, on your screen. All right. Is everybody good to go?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
All right. All right. Just wanted to walk you through it. So we're going to go on page 1. Just some basic things. Some of these things are going to happen before you arrive. We will be taking all of our materials and things up to Heartland Conference and Retreat Center. Before I get too far, you will see up at the top of this document the wireless code for the Oakwood Center. You will inevitably be asked what the wireless code is. You are more than welcome to share that with participants. They will be told at the beginning of Leadership Academy so that they can use it to connect in, but just so you know, it's just printed right there on the top of your event guide. We will be picking up our rental vans. We will be dropping off our things at Heartland and doing some basic setup prior to your arrival on Wednesday. We will have all of our event staff arriving throughout the day on Wednesday. We will have a list of suggested activities in the Columbus area surrounding headquarters. If you arrive early and want to get out and explore, we'll have some suggestions for you. We do ask that everyone be back by no later than 6:15 p.m. Because we will be departing for dinner at that time. We will have some time about 5:30 that we'll hang out in the President's Parlor and just get to know one another, but that is not required. But starting at 6:15, we do ask for you to be right there at headquarters so we can depart for dinner, to be starting at 6:30. We'll be having dinner at the kitchen that evening on Wednesday, and then on Wednesday evening, our FIT participants will actually begin some of their curriculum development. So hopefully we'll get some good sleep on Wednesday evening. And Thursday morning, if you can move to page 2, we will begin in the morning at 7:30 a.m. with breakfast at headquarters. And then that'll be followed by, at 8 o'clock, by an official welcome. We will actually have a few people who will have done a red-eye flight in, so hopefully they will arrive at headquarters by 8 o'clock that morning, and we'll get a chance to bring them all in and do introductions. All of us will be taking a shuttle up to Heartland starting at 8:30 a.m. The local volunteers who live in the area will be driving their own vehicles, but we do ask that everybody does ride in the shuttles, or let me know that you're riding with another individual so that we keep tabs on where everybody is and make sure we haven't left anybody behind. We will be arriving at 9 o'clock a.m. hopefully, and putting out rooming assignments in Beech Nut, where our facilitators will stay, and Hickory, so that you know which section of Hickory will be your sleeping accommodation, and also putting out dorm rooming sheets. So we'll arrive at Heartland and get settled, and we're asking that everybody be in the Oakwood lobby at 10 o'clock a.m. We do sort of an opening ceremony with all of our event staff, and again, that's one more opportunity for those people that perhaps were not with us on Wednesday evening or Thursday morning, that they will have joined us by that time. At 10:30 a.m., we will be doing a facilitator photo and a fit photo. And you're going to ask, well, what about program staff? we take the program staff photo at a different time because some of our program staff are actually at the airport, and we don't want them to miss being a part of that photo. We do all wear our Leadership Academy t-shirt on opening day on Thursday, and you will receive your t-shirt on Wednesday evening. Our airport staff depart at 10 o'clock a.m. and head for the airport. We will set up the opening craft in the dining hall. We will set up the care centers in the dorms and organize the storage closet in the Oakwood lobby around 10:45 a.m. And that will be all program staff who are available for that. We'll also set up our Lost and Found starting on page 3, our Get Connected posters, and set up zipline and rock wall signs and posters. All right, so we're on page 3. So that is what program staff is doing in the morning time. Also at 10:45, we are holding our facilitators meeting, which includes our fit participants. And we will also be doing our tech booth walkthrough at 10:45. We also have our slideshow and photo editing training that will occur at that same time at 10:45. Denise Rugani, who is in charge of the slideshow, will be running that meeting. And at 11:15, our facilitators and Heartland staff will join together to hold their meeting. Lunch will be at 12:15 for everybody. Regardless of what you're in the middle of doing, please do stop and get lunch. We have time after lunch to continue to set up and finish up things before participants start to arrive for registration. We do open registration starting at 12:45. At 1 o'clock p.m. Registration setup will have been going on all morning, but is finished up 12:45, 1 o'clock. We have in charge of our registration table this year, we have Robin, Reese, Melissa, Kim, Karen, and Hillary. We'll be doing that the following year. So definitely, when you can, take time out to greet Hillary, welcome her, and she's just really excited to be on board and to meet everyone. So registration, we've got our FIT participants will serve as greeters to participants when they are not in their curriculum meetings, and they'll be helping greet the buses that are arriving. We will have, again, a tribute table for our foundation. Patsy Levang is in charge of our tribute table, and we will have members of the foundation staff members from headquarters that will also be in and out all weekend working that table. Sally and Nicole will be working our merchandise table, and our floaters that day during registration will be Laurel and Denise. So we have a number of different things going on. If you do not see your name on that list, it means that we will be placing you in other places and also asking for your help with various things. You know, I think the best rule of thumb is you may not always see your name listed right in a section, but it is always a great thing to do that if you are either done with your task or you don't have one necessarily assigned to you, that you check in at the various places and see if anybody needs any help. At 1 o'clock on Thursday, we will be doing our value trail sign setup. We have Sam Fetcher, who's assigned to orange, red, royal, lime, green, lilac, and purple colors, and Laurel, who will be assigned to the sky blue, yellow, pink, teal, hot pink, navy, and cranberry. And what that means is that Sam and Laurel will be working with those small group facilitators to get their trail signs set up and walk the trails so they know where to set the materials up for the next day. what we do ask, our trails have been sort of a delightful challenge over the years. Things have gone well and things have gone not well in terms of our material setup. So we have found that this works best to have one person assigned to multiple teams and multiple small groups. And while I know everyone wants to be very, very helpful, we just ask that you allow them and Laurel to take the lead on that setup. If they need extra hands, extra help, please, and ask them if they need help and let them request your help. But please do not take the initiative to either set up or take down anything to do with the trails unless you've checked in with Sam or Laurel first. We find that that's going to be the best way to make sure that we keep things set up exactly the way that they need to be. Starting at 1 o'clock, our photographers will be out taking photos at various locations. Our photographers will be following sort of a system of dividing up the small group teams and will divide and conquer based on the space and where they need to go. We have 2 photographers and we have 2 photo editors, 1 photo editor assigned to each photographer to work with them to download their photos and to edit their photos and get them ready to be put into the slideshow. So it's sort of a nice, well-oiled machine, and we will do some discussion on Thursday morning with those different individuals to make sure everybody is comfortable and is comfortable with the process. At 1 o'clock, registration begins, and shuttles begin to arrive. We don't have times for those shuttles yet. They're sometimes the best guess, but they are pretty they're staggered and throughout the time between 1 all the way up until dinner time. At 2 o'clock p.m., we will have Laurel, Pat, Liz, and Denise who will be setting up the auditorium for our opening. And there's specific directions on the right-hand side. Laurel will take lead on that and will let people know where things need to go. And that's getting things ready for our opening. As I mentioned, there's pre-event activities. You can see a list of them here in the event guide. We actually begin to lay out our slideshow starting on Thursday. And our facilitators, when they are finished with their morning meeting, will be spending time in their small group space, setting up and preparing for their lessons. At the end of this document, the event guide, you will see a list of facilitators, small group space, and assigned program staff. And many of you are assigned to 1 or 2 small groups. What that means is that's simply your group that you are in charge of making sure that you touch base with that facilitator to see if she needs anything, to assist her with some of her setup, and then also throughout the weekend, just to check in, touch base with her. Are you missing any supplies? Is there anything you need? Is there anything I can get you? Just helping because they're not able to leave their groups to go run errands or to go get things, and oftentimes they need that help. It doesn't mean that you're with them all the time because you have other things to do, but when you have a moment and when you're able to, please do touch base with your facilitators to see if they need anything. We have snacks for arriving participants and event staff, so please make sure to get a snack in the dining hall as we'll tide you over until dinner. You'll see a little note there that says, Taking Nemo Through Its Paces. That's our video that we use that every year typically has a technical glitch and we never know why, so we always run Nemo through its paces. At 3 o'clock, we have our very first photographers download, where they're going to be downloading their photos to the photo editors. So photo editors, this is your first time when you will start to receive some photos and be able to get started with the editing. And I cannot stress enough how important it is to stay on top of the photo editing because there are various times throughout the weekend in which there will be downloads. And what we'll need is you to have your photos edited and done and given to the slideshow person, Denise, so that she can continue to move forward with the slideshow. And then when you get the next load of the set of downloads, you're able to begin editing those. So it's sort of a time management piece that you want to continually keep working and not leave things to the last minute. We do rehearsals for our opening with our large group facilitator, who will be soliciting you this year, and our technology coordinator, who is Sam Pecho. So we'll be holding those rehearsals in the auditorium. We have our photo editors who will be doing their editing and setting up for our regional dinner in the dining hall, and that is Laurel and Kim. Just sort of a logistical piece, so you know, there is a large closet in the Oakwood Center where we store all of our supplies. So when we unload our supplies from the truck, we either put them in different places. Registration receives the registration pieces, merchandise gets the merchandise, tribute table gets their tribute table pieces, and then anything that we use throughout the weekend, for example, items that you'd use to set up for regional dinner, all of those items will be stored in that closet. We usually try and do a good job of signage and labeling so you know, oh, those are the Friday night activities, or oh, those are the meal things, or oh, that's extra snacks, or so we try and organize that closet. But when you see the signs to the notations in this that say regional signs and stands, the blessing cards, you're going to find them all in that closet. We continue to have rehearsals throughout the day on Thursday with different individuals. And now I'm moving on to page 7. And starting at 5 o'clock p.m., there is a Get to Know You Icebreaker activities for our participants with the large group facilitator and Heartland staff. And that is done at the amphitheater location and the field nearby. At 6 o'clock, we have our regional dinner, which takes place in the dining hall. Sam and Liz have been assigned to the doors to be directing people to the right region. It doesn't mean that the rest of you cannot help, but those are the 2 people I know who were going to be available at that time who could do that. If you are available, please join in. There's often confusion about what region they should sit in. The good news is it's indicated on their name tag. So literally it's just making sure they understand that that's where they should be looking to see where they should be sitting. And then we will have being led in the Kappa Blessing. And then after dinner, they are dismissed to the auditorium. A couple of logistical pieces. If we have late participants arriving, just so you know, the most important thing for us is to get them fed if we can. So getting people into the dining hall, getting them fed, even if it means they're going to be a little bit late to the large group session, you know, try and funnel them through as quickly as you can. It is not important to take their things over to the dormitory. That's sort of the last priority. First priority, get them fed, get them comfortable by filling their bellies. Second priority, get them into the large group meeting space so they can find their small group and join their small group. The very last priority then is at the end of the evening, getting their things to the dormitory and getting them set up and ready for bed. So that's sort of the order in which we prioritize moving them through. We will have a welcome by the large group facilitator in the beginning of our curriculum, and then they are dismissed to their small group teams, and they head off to their different spaces. They will be with their small group facilitators from 7:45 to 9:45 p.m. And at 8:30, we will have our program staff meeting to talk about our evening and morning assignments and reminders, and that will be in the lobby of the Oakwood Center. At 9 o'clock p.m., we will be setting up If you are questioned about that, that is why. They just need to wait until the evening time, and there will be someone there to help them. We have evening snack, cookies and milk in all the dormitories. And late in the evening at 10:15, we have a facilitators meeting. We do ask that our merchandise staff make sure to count the merchandise money and deposit that with myself or Karen Holmes. And so that each night we have an envelope packaged up, sealed up with the records from that day and the amount of cash that's in there, so that we have all of that documented on a day-to-day basis.
So, Marla, do we take?
You can take the cash box and you'll just give me the envelope with that excess cash that you don't want to have over for the next day.
Okay.
The checks and things like that. So
okay.
We'll package up the checks and the excess cash into the envelope, but you'll keep enough of the cash for the next day.
Okay, okay.
Yep, good question. Okay, I'm now on page 10. On Friday, merchandise sales begin and tribute table begins at 7:45 a.m. until 8:30 a.m. Our breakfast time is at 7:45 to 8:30. It is very helpful if everyone on program staff can help sort of keep a pulse of, okay, we're about ready to transition to the large group meeting at 8:30. Let's start moving participants out of the dining hall. All right, now, we got a lot of people in the lobby and we're about to start. Okay, folks, let's move you into the auditorium. You can finish up sales at lunchtime, things like that. So if you all can kind of keep an eye, I will sometimes cue that and say, okay, we need to get people moving. But the more we can all do that, just looking at the time and saying, oh, we got to get them moved through, finished with breakfast, and moved into the auditorium, the easier it will be and the better we'll be about it, keeping to our schedule. At 7:30 a.m., Sam and Laura will be doing the actual trail setup. They may reach out to a few people to ask for extra hands, but they will take the lead on that. Moving on to page 11, at 8:45 a.m., the large group curriculum facilitation will begin in the auditorium, and we will be setting up for lunch right after that starts. Then our participants will go into their small group to do their leadership journey hike. And this is the time then where they walk the trails and do their curriculum. This is a great time. This typically is sort of a downtime for program staff. This is a perfect time for you to touch base with your facilitator, particularly at the start of this, and then typically at the end when they're beading. They can always use extra hands for tying off beading bracelets at the end, and also just touching base with them at the beginning to see if there's anything that they're missing by any chance. That can be very helpful. That's probably the two times in which you should sort of check in with them, but I would avoid checking in with them during the middle of the hike because it tends to be more of an intense time for the group. Lunch is at 11:30 to 12:30. And again, we've got merchandise table and tribute table. And I meant to mention with the merchandise table, there are 3 of you that will be working merchandise table. There's 2 main individuals who will be working, and then there's another assistant to help out. So that will allow during lunchtime that you don't miss lunch, that you can rotate one another in and out so that everybody has an opportunity to have a break and sit down and have lunch.
Who's the third person?
Go ahead and ask that again.
Who's the third person? I see me and I see Beth Lyons, but I don't know who the third person is.
Thank you. I will pull that up. I've got it on the, it's on the event staff roster.
Well, I have that you sent, but it doesn't have any, I don't see that other person.
Okay, that may be updated. I'll take a look and see. I know we do have a third person.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I was just.
Yeah, no, I can't pull it up right down in my brain, and I'm afraid to try and get on. I don't want to mess with anything at this point.
Don't.
It all seems to be working. So
yeah,
yes, I will get that. All right. After lunch, there is another large group session in the auditorium, and then as people are leaving, they will be picking up their snack in the Oakwood lobby. That is set up and run by Heartland staff, but it never hurts to have a few of our staff members just checking in to make sure whether they need any help. For those of you that have not worked on program staff before, I can't tell you enough how wonderful the Heartland staff are. They are so anxious to please, to be helpful, to make this event the very best that it can be, and they're nothing but accommodating and gracious. And so if for any reason you have any concerns, do let me know, but don't be afraid to ask of them and say, hey, I'm having a problem with this, or could you help me with that? They're just very willing to help out in any way that they can. So don't be afraid to reach out to them. But if there's any major concerns, please do come to me so that I can help get that addressed or resolved. In the afternoon, as they head out after the large group session and they receive their snack, they're going to be going to their small group space to work on their vision poster. And then moving on to page 13, we've got, this is a new piece, and it won't necessarily affect you as program staff, but I just wanted to mention, we are going to have Patsy LeVang and Beth Burks, who is our foundation executive director. Patsy was our former foundation president, actually 2 times ago, and she's going to be running the tribute table. We will be having Beth and Patsy during the small group session of the vision poster, going around to the different groups to share a 3-minute elevator speech about the foundation and encouraging them to make a donation at the tribute table. But also, even more importantly than that, really just to let them know about what the foundation does and the good work that it does. So that is a change that we're doing this year. At 3 o'clock, the small group facilitators will be introducing the Challenging the Process curriculum. And then from 3:30 to 4 o'clock, we are going to have a program staff meeting to go over the Friday evening setup, assignments, and things for Saturday. Laurel will be directing what spaces are set up first, because some of them can't be set up until after the small groups have finished in them. And we have a new activity this year, which we're really excited about. We are going to be doing a One Heart, One Kappa telethon. And how that's going to work, we're going to set up the Oakwood conference room with 6 telephones. And participants are going to be given the opportunity to go up and spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes if they want, calling various donors who have donated to Leadership Academy. And they'll have a tiny little script and the ability to thank donors for their generous contributions to make it possible for them to have attended Leadership Academy, and to share with them, just how special the experience has been for them. So we're really excited about doing that. We think that that's going to be a really nice personal touch. There's no ask in that call. We're not asking for money. Nobody's being solicited. It really is simply a call to say thank you to those donors that have donated to Leadership Academy. At 4 o'clock, we have the Heartland Challenging the Process large group activity, which will be facilitated, and from 5:30 to 6, there is free time. You'll see on page 15, our Friday evening activities are from 6 to 9 o'clock. Just so you know, at 5:30 is dinner for our event staff, and please get in there right at 5:30, because we want all of you to be able to eat and have time to do that before you have to be at your stations where you won't be able to get away and eat dinner. The participants will not be allowed into the dining hall until 6 o'clock. We actually lock the doors and don't let them in. So that'll be happening then. You can see the list of activities and who is assigned to what. Sally and Nicole, you are at the merchandise table. Patsy is at the tribute table. Donna Copert will be at the service to others. They'll be designing folders and book bags for the students at Marengo Elementary School. Laurel Beth Burks will be doing the telethon. We have Denise, who will be at the t-shirt exchange. Pat, you will be at the hayride. that departs anywhere between 6:30 to 9 o'clock on rotation. And you'll be there just talking with people and helping them get loaded into the hay wagons and letting people know when the next one will be arriving. Sam will be doing TV night. Liz and Kim, you are assigned to bonfire and s'mores, and basically that's just helping people getting marshmallows on sticks and getting graham crackers and chocolates dispensed and keeping the fire going. So adding the logs as needed. Rock climbing will be run, and rock climbing and zip lining and the nighttime hike are run by Heartland. Reese, you will be at the zip line, ensuring that the individuals that signed up for the time slots are going when they are supposed to. If they miss their time slot, they can fit into another time slot only if time allows. So we're going to be real strict about that, and I can talk with you more about that. I know you can be firm, but in a lovely and nice, warm way. So I will be running bingo, because if anybody knows me well enough, you're going to know I love to call out bingo numbers and hand out prizes. And Hillary, Libby, and Robin will be running our Minute to Win It game. We will be having closing songs at 9 o'clock, run by Kylie and Kelsey. And Friday, we will be Friday at 9:30 p.m. is cabin time, study time, and bed. We have a standing brief meeting at 9:45 p.m. We will be taking a full group photo, and that should say, but it doesn't, I didn't make that change, that will also be the program staff photo time. So if everyone can please plan on wearing their Leadership Academy t-shirt at that time. We'll be cleaning up our Friday evening activities and merchandise money count and deposit, and then lights out at 11 o'clock p.m. for our participants. Moving on to page 17, Saturday morning, we've got merchandise for sale, breakfast, we've got group photos with our photographers, and Denise will help to organize the large group photo. And then we have our large group curriculum set up for lunch, and then are enabling others to act with our small group facilitators. At that, on Saturday, we begin packing up. The event's not over, but we do begin packing up supplies and organizing our closet. And we do that most of the day on Saturday as we begin to set up for the graduation dinner. So both of those things take up the bulk of our time on Saturday. Saturday does have a lot of downtime, and I just encourage you, you know, I always say with Leadership Academy, you have to be really good at doing a lot of things and, you know, staying up late and sometimes getting up early, but you also have to be really good at being able to just chill and hang out until the next big burst of activity. So plan on some downtime. If you want to bring a book, if you have things to do for work or you're studying, feel free to bring those items. Oftentimes we sit on the floor in the lobby and do beading and visit and do little handwork or whatever. It's just a great time to visit and catch up with people. But do know there will be downtime. At any time where there's downtime, if you've checked with Karen Holmes, if you've checked with me, and you've checked with Laura Palmer, and all three of us say, no, there are no needs at this time, please feel free, take a break. Feel free, take a break, go take a nap, go for a walk. It's always fun to go out for a ride in the golf cart. You can go for a ride and take a little tour around the property with someone. We try and get that done by no later than 4:15. We have our slideshow that is getting wrapped up and finished and done by 5 o'clock p.m. and we get it practiced and ready to go. Our facilitators are wrapping up and we run through our slideshow and finish up our merchandise table and tribute table sales between the hours of 6:30 to 7 o'clock p.m. I'm on page 20. We've got free time for participants from 6:30 to 7:30. We have an event staff reception that begins at 7 o'clock p.m. in the auditorium before our participants arrive. We really hope you will join us there. It's a great time for us to say thank you to everyone for their hard work and to also thank our Heartland staff that are there. It's both our Kappa event staff and our Heartland staff, so please make time to be there. It's just a great little chance to visit before the doors open and our participants come in for the final graduation dinner. Moving really quickly through, we have our graduation dinner, which culminates in a keynote address by our large group facilitator, our graduation performances, our closing remarks, and finally our slideshow. We do have selling of merchandise and tribute table at 10:30 p.m. Typically by that time, our merchandise table has been doing some fire sales. So for those of you running merchandise, do check with Karen Holmes as to what items can be marked down, because we have certain price points we have to hit for certain items, so we aren't giving them away for under than what we paid for them. But those are all things that typically happen on Saturday. At 11 o'clock, we do our final merchandise money count and deposit, and we close up shop for the year. Lights out, and the next day we've got breakfast running anywhere. It says 6 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., but oftentimes we've got breakfast open around 5 o'clock a.m. for the first shuttles going out. Laurel and I check the buildings for leftover items, and shuttles are departing. Really, on Sunday morning, your job is done. Your job is to get on the shuttle like everybody else so that you can get returned home to your life and your work. But that's the main piece to know with Saturday. So I'm moving back to the slideshow that I have. I'm going to email out the slideshow to everybody so you can at least see it. I just have two last items I just want to talk about. I did send a document to you with the job duties and responsibilities. I want to make sure that you do read through that, please. There'll be specific things for your job, and would welcome any questions that you might have about that. We'll have time on Wednesday as well to discuss that. There's a variety of merchandise items that are for sale this year. I'm trying to think of any new ones we have. I know we have some new things, but of course I'm not quite remembering what some of those new things are. But I do know for those of you selling merchandise, there's some new and exciting things for you to be selling. But please do look over. What's that?
We're selling soda.
Soda. Where did you see soda?
Merchandise sales. Kleenex candy bars, soda, cameras, water bottles, necklaces.
Yes, please take off soda. We are not selling soda.
Okay, I didn't say we were.
Yes.
Okay.
we did one year, and I'll tell you a story about that, but not on the
Okay.
We'll do that at late at night one night. Okay. No soda. So very good question, Sally. All right. And my last slide that you probably can't see says question and answer time. So at this time, you can either type your questions to me if you're on mute and don't want to unmute yourself. But if you have questions, feel free at this time just to ask them. So no soda. That's the answer to that question.
Good.
Other questions? I know everybody's still here because I can see you. So feel free. If you have questions, but you think about it after we've concluded, or you just don't want to bother anybody else because it's more specific to your role, please take some time tonight to shoot me an email and let me know what your questions are. And if you would like to set up a time to go over your specific role, to go over anything on that job duties and responsibilities sheet that pertains to you that you have confusion about or questions about, I'm happy to do that. So I wanted to thank all of you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it, and for taking the time out of your busy schedules. I can't wait to see all of you. I say it every year, but I cannot believe it is coming in a few weeks. And we're just really excited to have all of you on board. So thank you again for joining us tonight. Have a wonderful evening and a great rest of the week. And I look forward to seeing all of you in September.
Thanks, Marla.
Thank
Good
you.
night.
Have a wonderful evening. Okay, good night.
Night.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.